Good.
All right, this is Jim West, Del Ross, and Chris Hughes with Talking Preps Friday nights. All right, many games we're going to talk about tonight. Let's go ahead and get them started. Let's go ahead and look at the 1As here. Robbinsville, no shock there, 54-17 over East Columbus. South Davidson beats Thomas Jefferson 27-12. Northside over Beargrass Charter 43-6. Wilson Prep beats Kip Pride 42-16. I thought that Wilson Prep Kip Pride game would be more competitive. Any thoughts there?
No, I think about what we would have expected. The Wilson Kip game, yeah, maybe a little bit closer, but I don't think any of us would be shocked at who won these games at all.
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
All right, well, let's go ahead and look at the 2A. More games here. Got 8 games here. In the West, Corvian holds on to beat East Wilkes 31-28. I thought that was going to be a close one. Mitchell beats Mountain Island Charter 28-15. Murphy all over Community School of Davidson 54-20. I think that game might have been a little bit close at the beginning of the game from looking at some scores I received. Starmount shuts out South Stanley 35-0. In the East, East Bladen beats Manio 38-21. Holmes squeaks by North Duplin, 34-28. North Duplin was up for a good part of that game. Tarboro has no problems with Hopton 47-12. And the game that I watched tonight, Warren County, they beat East Carteret 44-23. Dell, any thoughts about any of those games in the West?
No, not really. I think everything went. The only shocker to me maybe was the gap of margin with Murphy Community School of Davidson. That's really the only real shocker, I think.
I got you. And Chris, do you think any team in the East can keep within Tarboro for the championship, for the regional?
I don't think so. I did kind of think that Holmes would get past North Duplin. I think Holmes, if you go back and look at their last 6 weeks body of work, Holmes is a team that in the last 6 or so weeks has been much better than that really tough schedule they had to begin the year. I think Holmes is a good team. With that being said, I still don't think that they're within 14, 21, 28 points of Tarboro. Looking at the West, Corvian's a team that's going to have to do it all on the road. They got the unlucky draw of the seed. They had to go up to East Wilkes, playing up there in Ronda. That's not an easy place. They're going to have to do it again next week on the road against Murphy. And that's a long drive. You got to drive all the way through the Nantahala Gorge and everywhere. That's a tough ride. And I have a feeling that could have contributed a little bit of that gap with the scores between Community School and Davidson and Murphy. But, with that being said, I'm not taking anything away from Murphy. They're a really good football team, and it shows.
I do agree with that. Let's go ahead and look at the 3A scores tonight. In the West, Eastern Randolph beats Walkertown 30-14. Lincolnton squeaks by Mountain Heritage 37-36. That game was over in Yancey County, too, so that's a big win. Shelby all over Mount Airy 41-21. And West Davidson, they go on the road and beat North Stanley Comets 23-21. In the East, Farmville Central beats Martin County 28-20. James Keenan all over Aiden Grifton 54-26. Kinston with that good passing attack. They beat Pasquotank County 34-20. And Northeastern, their offense was rolling tonight. Beat Pender County 52-34. Chris, I'll start with you. Any thoughts about those games tonight?
Some good ball games. I had identified that Lincolnton Mountain Heritage game and had my schedule allowed. That's the game I think that I would have wanted to go see tonight. I just kind of had an inkling that both of those teams were going to really play a great game. It shows. I think Lincolnton's a really good team. I think Mountain Heritage is a really good team. Eastern Randolph, I think they're showing that, I think they're been just a little bit under the radar. I anticipate that game with Shelby being a good one. And in the East, I'm not surprised that Northeastern's kind of rising. They played a really, really tough schedule. They've played some 7A teams. DH Conley, comes to mind. They're a very battle-tested team, and I would not be shocked to see them advance to the finals.
I got you. Dale, what's your thoughts?
I think everything went about as expected, though I'm not going to say I expected a 1-point game with Lincoln. I did think they'd win, but I did think it'd be within one score. So you can say it's within one score. I figured it'd be a good ball game. Otherwise, I just think everything went about as I picked.
Sounds good. Let's go ahead and look at the 4As here. I know the 4A, some of the scores kind of was going back and forth. Brevard, they hold on and beat Burns 30-27. High Brighton, they squeaked by Stuart Kramer 14-9. Maiden all over Newton Conover 29-6. Newton Conover won the very first battle that in the season. I think they beat Maiden in overtime. And Pisgah, they hold on and beat Mount Pleasant 22-15. In the East, Central Davison, with that, let's put our offense in a phone booth attack. Beat North Pitt 40-22. Reesville holds on and beats Eastern Wayne 41-24. South Edgecombe 47. East Duplin 41. And West Craven 30. T.W. Andrews 14. Chris, I'm going to start with you. In the East, you like Reesville, West Craven, Central Davison, or all the above?
Well, I still really like West Craven. That's the team that, I think is a really complete, tough football team. I was at the Central Davidson North Pitt game. The score is not very indicative of the game. Central Davidson had this well in hand. It was 40+ 14 late in the game, and North Pitt was able to make it look a little bit closer. I do think that given, you mentioned the phone booth aspect for Central, I do think that because of what they do, and their offense is really, really tough to defend, I think that they could give Reidsville a tough time. I'm not going to sit here and call for an upset and say they'll beat them, but it's going to force Reidsville out of their comfort zone. It ain't like Reidsville going against a spread team. They're going to have to do some unique assignment football things, and it's just going to be a good game. Looking up there at the West, that Pisgah Mount Pleasant game was an overtime game. You look at them playing an arch rival type game in Brevard. Brevard's coach Luke Coleman came from Pisgah. There's a lot of synergy between those two staffs. Maiden at High Brighton, that's some really good football there in the West. I would love to be at any of these games because it's going to be good football next Friday.
Exactly. Dale, what's your thoughts?
Stuart Kramer showed that they are a pretty good team, that some of their wins here in the playoffs were not flukes. I figured Burns would play Brevard close, but I did think Brevard would win that ball game. And honestly, I thought that Newton Conover would play that game a little closer than that. So I don't know if the game was that far on the field as far as what the score is telling us, but that's not what I expected. I expected a one-score game there.
It's going to be some good games next week. So everybody, day after Thanksgiving, think about going to a game. Let's go ahead and look at the 5As and see what we got on the score tonight. That West to me is like the 5A fight club. I mean, we talk about the 7As being a fight club. I think the 5As in the West is a fight club. Crest, that's a statement win. They beat East Lincoln 31-14. Hickory beats Franklin 36-14. J.M. Robinson, they squeaked by Oak Grove 41-33. And South Point Monroe, they were in a track meet. South Point beats Monroe 61-42. In the East, these two teams met earlier on the season, and Croatan won that game. They won this one today. Croatan 22, Havelock 21 in a squeaker. Hunt, they beat Southern Nash. They beat them earlier on the season. This time they beat them 42-21. Northside, they hold on and beat St. Paul's 28-21. And Rocky Mount, they had a pretty easy time on the road tonight, looks like. Beats Northeast Guilford 31-12. Dale, I'll start with you. That Crest East Lincoln game, I know that was one that you're going back and forth with. What's your, looking back, what's your thoughts?
My thoughts are that, of course, the problem turned out to be the problem. That is how dynamic Crest offense can be. I felt like if it was a more physical game, I thought it might have been a more of a physical based game. That's why I was going back and forth. So yeah, I'm a little surprised at that. What really surprises me, though, out of all these games is the 61 points that South Point put up. That's not surprised they won. I picked them to win. I didn't quite foresee that many over 100 points being scored in this game. So that's just a little surprise there.
How about you, Chris? What's your thoughts?
Well, I think that I think the power lies within the West in this class. Nothing against the Eastern teams. I think those games Friday, I think Hunt's coming in with a lot of momentum. They beat Southern Nash again. And from what I have a guy on the ground who watched that game and said it was not even close. It was 21-0, I think, really early in that game. Hunt is kind of coming on at a strong time. Looking at the West, though, a couple interesting matchups coming up. Hickory going to J.M. Robinson. That's Coach Joe Glass going to his old team. That'll be an interesting game. And then Crest going to South Point. I just think that this shows us where the RPI or the ranking system within the seedings is wrong, because don't forget Crest shellacked South Point 42-7 3 or 4 or 5 weeks ago earlier in the season. So, it's always interesting to try to beat a team twice. We've seen Crest have some great seasons come to an end in Belmont before, and they can't be making their reservations for a championship game yet. That game at South Point, it's going to be tough.
Oh, I agree with you on that. So some great games in 5A, both in the East and the West. I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and go to the 6As, and after that, we're going to go to the private championships. And in the 6A, Ashbrook, they win. They beat Dudley 15-7. Northern Guilford all over Kings Mountain 37-7. Sun Valley, I tell you what, Sun Valley is really coming on strong right now. They beat Freedom 46-20. And Catholic, they gave a pretty good fight over in Boone, but Watauga wins 27-19. In the East, Middle Creek was behind for a good portion of this game. They did beat Southern Alamance 31-30. Northern Nash 71st. I knew that was going to be a close one, and Northern Nash wins 19-14. Another one that was really close. Scotland beats Jacksonville 34-33. And Union Pines, I love their defense. They beat Williams 17-7. Chris, I'm going to start with you. Any thoughts?
Great ball games. That Ashbrook Dudley game, I'm sure it had to be a great one to attend. I think Ashbrook led 2-0 early and held on. I saw some of those scores going back and forth. Northern Guilford, they've been great all year. That Sun Valley team, they have really come on strong. I was big on Sun Valley to start the season. They played that tough schedule. I think they had Mooresville week 1. They just kind of, they had a rough start to the season. They're starting to come on. Watauga struggling with Catholic just a little bit. I'm anxious to see that Sun Valley Watauga game. I just checked the weather next Friday night in Boone. It's going to be about 26 degrees. So, that's going to be a tough environment for Sun Valley to go up on the hill. And then looking there, that Scotland-Jacksonville game, it had to be an instant. Well, I don't know. I think that's wrong. I just got a report from someone.
I think Jacksonville won.
Won that game 35-34. So we got a wrong one right there.
Yeah.
Because Union Pines is going to go to Jacksonville.
That's
so
right.
we need to get that correct. What a miracle season for Union Pines. Coach Brian Till already reached out to me a little bit ago. That's just a great run. Reuben Davis should be really happy down there in Moore County.
Oh, you know that. He's probably just a class of 81. He's probably jumping up and down right now. Dale, I know you know Reuben, but what's your other thoughts? Any games stick out for you?
Again, not RPI, but in power rankings, Sun Valley is clearly the number 1 team in 6A. There's a gap between them and Watauga. I have liked Sun Valley. I continue to like Sun Valley. The thing that's driving Ashbrook is their defense, and so their defense played well again tonight. So I'm foreseeing that to be, I think, the Western region. I'm shocked that Catholic played that game that close. Their style of offense obviously helped them. I think that speaks to me about how that Sun Valley Watauga game may go.
Oh, good point on that. Tell you what, let's go ahead and look at the private scores, the private school scores. Providence Day beats Christian 42-6, and High Point Christian beats Asheville School 50-13. I have nothing to offer about either one of those games. Dale, how about you? What can you offer for us?
Is that the final score of the Providence Day Charlotte Christian?
I think so.
I thought they had another touchdown, but they played the game from what I could just by telling my story. They played the game close early. I was not surprised at that, and nor am I really surprised that Providence Day was able to open it up, because this is clearly a team that's above everyone else in the privates, and very possibly above everyone in the state. Period.
I think they're the best team.
Yeah,
South Carolina.
I can't disagree with that.
I think they could play with a lot of teams in the nation. Great season, great run for Coach Greer. Also, just to throw it out there, Rendell Parrott Academy in Kinston, they knocked off Cary Christian in the 8-man championship tonight.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, we don't talk about 8-man football for whatever reason.
It's a fun game to watch.
Yeah. I guess we don't, because we don't have it close to us. We don't have teams we can go for. But it looks like the Providence State kids really had a good time. That's great. It's always fun to watch.
Yeah, I agree.
Celebrate, after big wins or state championships.
And it's nice to see that game here. It's been played down in Raven Gap the last several years.
Yep, exactly. And it's wild. Maybe some people think it's wild. I don't. That Raven Gap wasn't playing in this, because I really felt like Christian had a great shot at winning last week. But going into that game, I was not surprised that Christian won that game at all. So yeah, it's good to see that was played in Charlotte.
So High Point
and the
Christian,
other,
I was going to ask you if you guys know. I have nothing to offer on that one.
Not me. No,
I think they're both as expected.
Yeah, that I would agree with. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know.
And High Point Christian doesn't. They don't want to have a Division I, Division II, play each other, because that wouldn't go well.
It would be about the score, that High Point Christian versus. I think Providence Day would win by about that score.
Exactly.
If not worse.
Sorry, High Point Christian.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is. You guys had a great season, though. You really did. You had a very good season.
Very much so. Got to be proud of that. I don't know where we can go from now. We can go either to 7A or we can do something else. See if we have 7A. All right. Just quick scores here. Grimsley blowout city here, beats Jack Brett 55-12. Independence, another blowout, beats Richmond Senior 52-18. Reagan, they squeaked by Mooresville 32-31, and Weddington all over Lake Norman 42-7. Some more, I'm going to say, except for one, all of them were lopsided. Clayton all over Conley 47-7. Cardinal Gibbons beats Hillside. That was last night. Beats Hillside 40-19. Gardner all over Cape Fear 63-26. And Southeast Raleigh beats Cleveland 49-37. Earlier on in the season, Cleveland won that game against Southeast Raleigh 28-10. Dale, I'll start with you. What's your thoughts?
So there's only one surprise that it's a little bit surprised me, and that's Mooresville Reagan game. The other three games do not surprise me at all. But I did think Mooresville would win, as I think a lot of people did. Sometimes you got those humps you have to get over, and this is maybe one of those humps that they can build on for next year. And I think in the East, again, things look about like I thought they might. I thought that SER and Cleveland game would be a close game. I will admit I picked Cleveland to win the game. That would have been my pick going into the game, but I felt like it would be a close game.
How about you, Chris? Who do you think is going to emerge from the East?
Well,
Yeah, to pick one team.
Not shocked about Clayton. Clayton's playing really good football. Givens as well. Colonel Givens, they're an elite level team. That Garner, the way Garner manhandled one of the most physical teams in the 7A in the East. Cape Fear is a very physical team. We've highlighted some of their players here on Talking Preps. That shocked me a little bit. Now, Garner coach Deron Donald, I worked with him at Douglas Ford. He knows Fayetteville football very well. I knew that he would not be intimidated going down there to play Cape Fear. Southeast Raleigh's a good football team. They've got a lot of talent on that team that will be playing in Saturdays. Am I surprised that they won? No, but I thought that Cleveland has just been a standard bearer in the East for many years now. Little surprised about that one. In the West, I'm not surprised necessarily of any of the winners. I thought Reagan and Mooresville would be a good game. I like you, Dale. I would have picked Mooresville too. But Reagan is a very good team. I thought Richmond would probably be a little bit more competitive. From everything I saw, I heard, I don't think that game was ever in doubt at any time, really. So hats off to DJ McFadden, all the people at Independence. That's a big one. Looking at next week, that Indy Weddington game, Reagan Grimsley. The only problem is I can't be in multiple places at one time. There's some good ball games. I think hard pressed not to want to see that Indy Weddington game.
The last time I saw Indy and Richmond play each other, was it 2007 when Richmond beat them? 2008. They beat them. Yeah.
Semifinals.
Yeah.
I think of Raider Magic always the
and it wasn't even
days.
close. Yeah. That was not a close game.
Exactly. That's the last time I saw those two teams play. So kind of a flip from that.
Exactly. All right, let's go ahead and look at 8A. Just a few more games in the 8A left here. Huff beats West Versailles 28-10. West Charlotte 34. Myers Park 21. Were the games and the scores indicative of how those games were played? Chris, I'll start with you. I don't know.
I don't have any insight on the West Charlotte game. I didn't have anybody there. I haven't really followed much of it. Not surprised that they beat Myers Park. I'm not even surprised that it was a competitive game. Myers Park's a really good football team. So I knew that'd be a good one. From my guy on the ground that's kind of giving me updates about Huff, I think that Huff was probably another touchdown or two better than West. I know that Huff was going in to take a lead at the half or extend their lead going into the half and got stopped on the goal line. So that's probably another touchdown that maybe they thought they could have put on the board. So no surprise there. I think we got the matchup that we thought we would get in the West with West Charlotte and Huff. That's going to be another big game. I can't say big enough. In the East, not surprised by any of the games. Hoggard beating Rollsville maybe by that score, although I think there's just a lot going on with that Rollsville program, but I'm not surprised that Hoggard pulled away the way they did. I thought maybe Jordan would be just a little closer to Millbrook, but golly, Millbrook, they're just good. That's going to be a heck of a game down in the Port City in Wilmington off Shipyard Boulevard. That'll be a good one. I still think Millbrook is the favorite, but good football, big time of year.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think that 27-10 score between Millbrook and Jordan's it's more of a statement about Millbrook than anything else.
Agreed.
Dill, what's your thoughts? What's your thoughts, Dill?
The West Charlotte Myers Park game was not close.
Yeah.
Myers Park fans left about midway in the third quarter. They cleared out. They the only people that were left were family. The only reason Myers Park has 21 and not 7 is JV quarterback was put in. I have some questions for when Sam comes on as to why they threw the ball inside their own 20-yard line. Why did they throw the ball? I know wanting to give the guy probably some play time, but they threw the ball and INT touchdown. There's one of your scores, and then the other score. Again, they've got got a lot of backups in, and they have a bad snap on a punt. The ball goes over the punter's head, and he goes back to get the ball. He was stopped somewhere in that. I think inside the 5-yard line or something like that. So it was not a good situation for in that way. So that's where those scores came from. So the score is not indicative of the way the game was played on the field. The Huff West Forsyth game, if whoever you are, I can't remember your name, but you posted on Twitter, because I said, when was it? Wednesday night, I guess, when I said could be a running clock. I did say could, and it should have been. I thought that Huff. It looks like West Forsyth played that game closer than I thought they would. It was real close early on in that game. It was far too close, probably, for Coach Baker's liking. So I am a little surprised, but not overly surprised at that. So yeah, we got the games that we want for next week.
I believe Huff trailed 3-0 early, but
they did. It was 3-0.
Everything I was told by a guy I had on the ground said that it was never in question, that even though it was kind of close early in the game, that it was never, that West Forsyth never posed a threat.
You know, the problem with those kind of games, though, is you should never let your opponents hang around, right? Because you don't know what's going to happen. West Charlotte had what? Well, you can have injuries and things that, take players out. So big 74 for West Charlotte. I thought he had an ankle. It must have been a cramp, but, he goes down. And, when things can happen to players, and that can change the dynamics of the game. And if it's kind of like in the Myers Park Huff game when they played back earlier, and Huff was hanging around, and Myers Park was hanging around, and the only reason they didn't hang around was their quarterback got knocked out. But had he stayed, now Myers Park could not finish drives. But the thing I don't like about that, Chris, is just letting your opponent hang around. And they were hanging around early, but Huff obviously pulled it out.
Well, hopefully we can get some coaches on here before too long. As soon as we get a message that coach is around, we'll put the coach on. I want to ask you guys a question. I'll start with you, Chris. If I told you beginning of the season that West Charlotte and Huff and Millbrook and Hoggard would still be in the semifinals, I don't think you'd be shocked, would you?
No, I don't think so. I mean, those are kind of some of the teams that we kind of, especially Huff and West Charlotte. I mean, I think that was almost a no-brainer. Maybe you could have made the case, especially with a lot of the hype coming into the preseason about Rollsville. And they are obviously one of the most talented teams. But having saw that Hoggard team this year and seen them with my own eyes, they're good. And quarterback Matthew Boring, he can pick you apart. Very surgical. Got a great offensive line. They run the ball exceptionally well. That Hoggard team is just really good. I don't see a whole lot of weak spots. Enormous line. They just kind of look the part. So I don't think that I would be shocked by any of these teams.
Oh, I agree with you. Coach Chris, how you doing, Coach Chris?
One statement. As far as in the East, I wouldn't have been shocked, but those would not have been my two picks, probably. But
okay, we just lost Coach Chris. Hopefully he'll be back here in a second.
Huff, and he was driving, so he may have bad signal. But Huff and West Charlotte, I think, were many people's picks.
Let's go on to Coach Chris here. Coach, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Oh, doing great. Happy Friday. Good win over in Rhonda tonight.
I appreciate it. Tough environment, good football team for sure.
I hear you. How was the weather? Did you have any rain or wind or?
No rain, but it was real foggy. It was hard to see. It almost reminded me of that old Chicago game like just trying to throw the ball. It was hard to see the ball. Kicking field goals, it was hard to see if they were good or not. I mean, it was tough to see with all the thick fog.
Well, that's how I was tonight. I was over at close to the Virginia border. You almost want to have those miner hats with the lights on so you can see, 5, 10 yards in front of you.
Right, absolutely. And it was scary driving home, just not being familiar and driving through there on the school bus and you just can't see. I mean, it was tough.
You just want to not make sure you don't hit any deer or any people. I'll totally get you. I was the same way here. So you got to go up to Murphy. Have you ever been to Murphy, North Carolina before?
No, sir. First time I heard him was last year. I don't know much about him. I don't know anything about the area. I know it's a long ride. So, right now in my mind, I plan on getting up and leaving early in the morning, stop somewhere and just kind of get out and move around and get back on and go a little further and sit down and eat as a team somewhere and, just try to keep the routine the same as it is, just being off for Thanksgiving and things, just trying to get them up, moving around and not getting used to being stuck from sitting around from break and being on that bus too long.
Make it a field trip and go gem mine hunting while you're up there. There's a lot of it up in that area. It's a long ways away.
Yeah, I heard it. Yeah, I heard it was. I'm not looking forward to it, but I'm looking forward to playing another game for sure.
Well, Coach, just let you know, Dale Ross has had you as his pick for the 2A since I think the beginning of the season. So just want to throw that into you.
I appreciate it. Hopefully, we won't let him down.
Well, this guy that's on the call right here, I've got Sam Griner with us. Coach Chris, I know you know Sam.
For sure. Congrats on the win, Coach.
Appreciate you. How'd you guys do tonight? Did good. Obviously, you wouldn't be on here.
Right. We won 31-28. You would have thought.
Good deal.
You thought our colors were yellow. All the flags on the field tonight, boy.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
East Wilkes. What did you play at East Wilkes, or you had home field advantage?
At East Wilkes. No home field advantage. We try to play up, but it don't benefit. So I don't know what to do. This RPI stuff is crazy.
Well, that's the thing. Like what you did, it did help you. It doesn't help you in the aspect of playing at home, but it helped you prepare for the winning football. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So I understand what you're saying, though. Yeah, it's better to play nothing like it's better for like someone in 8A to play someone in 1A with like an undefeated record, but it's better for you guys that are lower, like to do what you did to prepare you for real football. So you know how it is, man. You did good.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Hey, Coach Emil, I had Langston throw this photo up. I was at Central Davidson tonight, and the fog was rolling in there as well, and it was hard to see across the other side of the field at times.
Yeah, our game might have started like that, but when we came out in the second half, I almost wondered if they came out with smoke machines. It was that thick, like goal line to goal line. It was bad. I mean, it was hard. Like literally, we're up 31-28, and they're trying to kick a field goal, and they kicked the ball. We had no clue if it was really in or out. I mean, we were just sitting there waiting.
Waiting for the officials to tell you.
That's crazy. Well, good stuff, man.
Sam, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions while we got you.
Okay.
All right. So going into the start of the game, you guys played really well, although you had a penalty that hurt you, I think, from scoring, your first touchdown in that series.
There's one thing. The main point I got upset about was the rule states basically on an RPO, like when you're throwing the ball and it's like a run pass option, you can't look at, I went back and looked at the film again. You can't look where the lineman's at when the ball is, when the guy caught the ball and he's running down the field and you see a lineman blocking 8 yards down the field. You got to look at if he's within the span, so he's coming off a double team or whatever, and he's a yard and a half down the field, he's okay. He's just his momentum. He is flying, but when the ball crosses the line of scrimmage, where is he at? And then the next thing you know, that the official will see a guy running past him after the ball's been caught, and he's like, "That's lineman downfield." No, it's not. It's not lineman downfield, but that's
So
frustrating.
you had that 2 times tonight, lineman
Uh-huh.
downfield. One just right after that. So 14-0 at half. I thought you guys made good adjustments to then just open the game up, and just your feelings. Although, you know what, I don't need to know your feelings. Here's what I want to know your feelings about. Why did Myers Park get 14 point number 13 and 14? Why did you throw down there?
We didn't throw down there. It's a run call. It's all our calls have pass options built into it, and and it was a now throw. It's a smoke screen. I mean, it just shows you how it wasn't a screen, but it was like a non-block smoke screen. So we have a run call built in on that, and
Okay.
our quarterback, he's amazing. So that's his 3rd interception on the entire season. So he's very careful with the football. That kid made a great play, but I think we had the young running back in or something like that at the time, and they were playing off far enough that he liked the throw to Dante, who's a very special. So it's like a sweep for us. It's not a throw down the field. And
Right.
and the defensive end just made it an unbelievable, like a one-hand type grab snag where he didn't engage in the run and he bailed out. So it was kind of just a great play by him. And but it wasn't like a pass play called like, hey, we're throwing the ball here. It's just an option he has if he likes it or not. And he came back off the field and he was like, "My bad, coach." And I was like, "That's all good, man." I mean, if you saw that, it was a great play by that kid. I mean, what were you up 34-7 with like a few minutes to go, and then that happened, and then our snapper's been amazing all
The
year
snap,
long. It was just it got real high, and then we didn't have Dante in. Dante normally can grab the really high snap or something if something happens, and we had the other punter in, which he's really good too. But instead of taking the safety, we try to come out and they get the ball on the 2 or 3 yard line, and then we couldn't. They got in the end zone on that last play, so they scored with like 15 seconds to go or something like that, and so they get 21. So the game looks a little bit more deceiving than what it is. I thought we physically dominated them tonight, honestly.
You did.
And it just showed how good, they have some really good, talented players, and they're a good football team. But I don't know what our rushing stats were, but I thought we did really good. And then we took shots when we needed to take shots, and I thought we played a great game, complimentary football. We punted the ball well. We ran the football extremely well. We completed a lot of when we did throw it in the air. We completed a lot of passes, and nothing that. It was like, I mean, we probably were 75% run tonight easily. And we kind of imposed the line of scrimmage. And then defensively, we did a good job of limiting their first downs and getting them behind the chains. And if we got them behind the chains, it was not good for them. They had that one big splash play. Outside of that, our defense dominated the game.
I hate we don't have my highlights, Langston. I hate we don't have those. I will say that Myers Park, their 7-point, their first score, that was a very nice throw catch.
After a timeout too. I mean, we really got him into right coverage, and the kid still made a play. I mean, it was a great throw, great catch.
That was a fantastic play. I saw some great plays tonight. I saw some really, really good plays. But overall, you guys look very good.
I agree.
So I'm gonna let Coach Chris. You didn't get an opportunity to tell us about your game other than fog. What would you like to tell us?
I mean, it was a tough game. Just that triple option. It's always hard to defend, especially in a week's time. But we were really missing our defensive lineman, Trey Dukes. He had to sit out this game. He was a drunk driver, ran a light and hit him on Saturday, so he's just been a little banged up and sore, so he couldn't play. So we had 2 freshmen out there playing on defensive line, and just throwing them in the fire. I mean, they fought, but it was crazy. Anytime we got momentum, it was a flag. If we stopped them and held them, it was a flag. I mean, it was a little tough. But we overcame. We fought through it. and found a way, really. For them, it was just a lot of big plays. Their first touchdown was probably like 4 flags on that drive to just kind of move the ball. One of them was just a bonehead play. One of our kids shoving the kid in a face mask. But no, I mean, the same thing. I mean, we played great physical ball. Just that offense, you get one guy out of a gap, and it's a big play, and that's all it really was. But I mean, we fought. Like I said, they had the ball the last drive with 2 minutes left, and I thought we stopped them a couple times on 4th down, but the spot didn't go in our favor, and we stopped them when we needed to, and they tried to make a field goal and came up short.
I hear you on that. Well, Coach, it's so good to see you, man. You got to go to Murphy, so that's a long drive. You can't get much further west in North Carolina than Murphy, so just stay warm on that. I guess Coach Greer, Chad Greer, is on with us right now. Coach, how you doing, my friend?
Great. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. Chris. Coach Chris.
I met him once when I went to watch Virginia Tech practice. That was it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
We all know who the legendary Chad Greer is. Okay, come on. Look, I need that full beer. I need that full beer to come into play because now since you win your championship, you get to come to watch our practice and games. I appreciate you. And but this man right here gets the y'all don't know he's got a 3rd job. He works at a lot of the malls, like the old Eastland Mall. He'll get that beard filled up in the Silver Fox. It's not the kids that come, it's the moms that come see him for Christmas and ask him for presents. It's pretty crazy.
Did you say Eastland Mall? You're not old enough to go to Eastland Mall.
Oh, I'm old enough to go to Eastland Mall, brother. Come
No,
on,
you're
guys.
not.
When
did Eastland Mall closed in when? The 90s?
Like 2003.
Guys, yeah, I'm in high school. Okay, I went on an ice skating ring. Like that's back in the day when we went. I graduated high school in 2000. Y'all like I'm this young guy. Come on, man.
No,
I love Eastland Mall.
I do remember ice skating there, or actually not very well, but I saw the movie Jaws at Eastland Mall when it first came out. That was like the 70s, man, or whatever that was.
1975 or 76, somewhere around there, yeah.
I was too young to be. I went in with my uncle, and I spilled a bucket of popcorn all over me. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was terrified.
I remember Morrison's cafeteria.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah, I remember that. I
want to say something about your game. I saw the score, and I was the one on our show Wednesday saying, I said, I don't think it's going to be close. And everybody's like, well, I don't know if they can run the football. I'm like, you don't think Chad Greer hears this and they're going to stop the run? So I assumed you guys stopped the run pretty well tonight.
Yeah, we did. And Langston, I heard him, and I love Langston, appreciate and respect him, but he must not have watched many of our games. Nobody ran the ball on us this year.
I know.
We don't talk a lot. I waited, and I even said up front about Z in particular. I said I'm not going to talk about our guys and us until the season's over, and then it'll speak for itself. But there's some elite defenses. You got one. Huff's got one. There's others, but our defense was unbelievable this year, and nobody ran on us. I mean, they really did a tremendous job. Dave Sorupka, who's been coaching with me since the beginning at Davidson Day, just did an incredible job with our staff and our kids. Respond. Hey, ask me how many times. Let me ask you this: how many times you gone an entire game the defensive coach and not blitzed once?
That's pretty good.
Wow.
You did that with just straight sound defense, huh? Ooh.
We didn't blitz one single rep tonight. Played base defense, and our kids just flew around, played fast and free, and made plays. And it was just a really incredible defensive performance.
Yeah, I said they'd have to make a statement to be called not the other school down the street, and obviously they're going to remain the other school down the street as today.
Now look, I am a little long in the tooth. I do have a good memory though, and I remember when I first came back to Charlotte to PD. I remember specifically you on this show talking about they were the king of the hill, and we weren't going to be anybody till we had to dethrone the king of the hill. So I feel like we've taken over that mantle at this point.
Without a doubt.
Can we
years ago.
Can we possibly get Providence Day and West Charlotte to play like a home and home game series?
Yeah.
We got to win. Look, they're done. They're champions. He's gonna come check us out. if we can win and take care of business, then we'll discuss that. We've always talked about scrimmaging and practicing with each other. We would love to play like.
How about 27-28? So I mean, go ahead and let's go ahead and talk about that now. Let's go ahead and get that.
We hope. I mean, if we take care of business, we can see them first game of the season next year. We'll see how that works out.
Okay.
We'll see. Yeah, they played in the Bank of America game like 9 times out of 10 years if it was done. So this is the only year they didn't get to do it. So you know how many, like, guys, y'all know, I'll tell you a funny story. Do y'all know how many women come to games just to watch it? The ratio at his games is at least 60-40 women at games. Like my own wife. All right, so this is disturbing. So I'm only intimidated by one man, and it's not Andy Capone. I love Andy Capone, but this man goes into Orvis where my wife works. She's the manager. And they called me and basically said, we got a silver fox in the building. And I'm like, he's a good looking fella. He really is. Just them humbling blue eyes just get you. And I was like, baby, don't look in his eyes, okay?
This is a very awkward conversation. Is anybody else feeling awkward about it besides me? And
no, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it.
Although his wife
is kind of awkward.
She's a lovely lady. She was very helpful.
That's right.
He definitely outkicked his coverage. She's
no doubt. That is true. That is true.
Sam was afraid of Andy Capone and worried about Chad Greer.
Intimidated or
we're learning about
jealous
Sam's weaknesses. Now,
that is true.
Now we need is Coach Baker to see these weaknesses and find a way to exploit them, right, Sam?
That ain't gonna happen. We'll take care of business. I got to look at him on film. I'm looking forward to it.
I hear you.
Well, Chad, congratulations. You are the person that helped me understand or appreciate what kids do in private. I don't know if you remember way back when, but sometimes I probably didn't give because of the shorter, which is something you can't control.
Yeah.
And of course now Sam's playing in the private version of the public school.
Look, I'll be honest with you. I think that's one thing we're doing right. And I loved it before. We used to do like the BCS. They picked the top 4 and you played a 2-game playoff. But what I love about ours is 3 rounds. We're home for Thanksgiving. And when I was at Oceanside, I love the fact that we got to practice on Thanksgiving. But I'll be honest with you, it's great to be done by Thanksgiving. I mean, we all put 8 months of the year into this. And
100%. I agree.
Our seasons are too long, no question.
I agree. And look, not that I have a dog in that hunt, but I'm a huge high school football fan, and I have great respect for coaches, and I know what they put into to running any program, any season. And as I think some of y'all know, my mom was a career teacher in CMS. I grew up in CMS. My parents went to Harding. My aunts and uncles went to Independence and East, and those guys deserve a whole lot more money than they're being paid right now. And
I agree.
I'm 100% supportive of figuring that out. There's plenty of money in the school system to figure that out, and they need to do that.
Well, I can't wait. If the two of you guys can work it out, maybe the first week of the season, get West Charlotte and Providence Cadet to play.
Can we win a couple more games before we talk about that? I will definitely do it, but let us get to their level. You know what I'm saying? We're like 5th, 6th, 8th. Langston come out with a Sweet 16. We'll be 15th next week. So.
Oh, come on, beat Muhammad Ali. Start beating that chest here.
See, Chad, Sam needs a few more weeks of success so his recruiting will improve.
Oh, boy. He does a good job of that.
Oh, God. Here we go.
Oh, Sam, I forgot to tell you, you're a recruiter. I can't remember his name. I'm joking. Sam does not have a recruiter. He does not have a recruiter here.
I would tell you, I do listen to y'all stuff. I think y'all do a great job with the show. And I'm a big fan of Andy Capone. He does a great job. But I did hear him talking about his team, and he kind of caught himself at one point about how the program was built. And then he started naming off guys that were playing well for him, and one was my kid, and one was the corner from the school down
West Charlotte.
and then one was a kid from West Charlotte, and one was, one was a kid from North Mac. And I'm like, I thought Weddington was the neighborhood school. It was supposed to be the community school. They've done a pretty good job of expanding their neighborhood.
Yeah, their neighborhood is grown.
That's a good point. Good point.
But but like I say, that he does a tremendous job. There's so many guys in our area that just run first class programs and just really good coaches. It's fun to be a part of it. And man, I tell you, I'm a little giddy right now because I can't say enough about our coaching staff and what our guys did with our kids this year and played against a lot of those guys. I mean, so another thing Ground used to give me a hard time about. So, well, y'all, any given day, y'all could play with anybody, but you couldn't do it week after week after week. So we wouldn't schedule 5 in a row of 7A, 8A, big boys. And, we other than the Roman Catholic game out of Philly, and they were really good, we didn't have a game close to 20 points all year.
No, it was probably one of your best performances in your career, I think, as a dominance program. Y'all did a great job, and kudos to you, man. You deserved it, and no doubt, dominant year.
I appreciate it. Again, that credits the staff we've got right now. Jalen Hill with our offensive line, and Dave with the defense, and just literally Gary Green, Tamario Baldwin, just the whole staff was incredible. And the kids responded to them. The kids love each other. It just was an incredible vibe this year. So it was a very fun year to coach. I'm a very complete.
Are you going to expand your national schedule?
Who knows? I mean, we're not. Honestly, I don't enjoy going to Raven Gap, much less I told Coach Free, I ain't trying to go to Philadelphia. I mean, I'm too old to get home at 3 or 4 in the morning bus rides.
Yeah, I hear you on that.
Why does he need to think about it? Why does he need to go outside of the state when North Carolina is one of the top 5 states easily in the nation?
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? Like you could get 1 South Carolina game, you can get 3 games like he's doing this year. Like, I mean, say they play West Charlotte next year and you play a Roseville, you play a Huff, or you play, anything, and then you play a Dutch Fork or Northwestern. I mean, shoot, that's as much talent you could ever play against, and they do that a good job, no doubt.
You're exactly right. I mean, there are so many talented teams and so many great players in the Carolinas, but just in Charlotte, I mean, I'm thrilled that we're able to get these Charlotte games going, and they're fun games, fun gates. Crowds are great, and there's a lot of interest, but. I mean, I love playing the Charlotte schools and the surrounding area. I think that's plenty.
Yeah, there's some great games there. Coach Greer, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I just wanted to tell you we are so proud of you, and just we want you to celebrate this great wins. I want to go back to Coach Chris. I want to talk a little bit about. Take care, guys.
Okay.
Chris, one question I wanted to ask you. You went to the state championship last year. This year, you got 3 different places, different locations. You got Lenore-Ryan, you got Chapel Hill, County Stadium, Durham. Any preferences, or you'll go anywhere you want to go, or anywhere they send you?
I'll go anywhere. Not being from here, of course, playing at NC State last year, and Chapel Hill. I think we scrimmaged at Lenore-Ryan. We scrimmaged against Burns, but the other place I never even heard of. So.
County Stadium, yeah. Now,
I mean, I'm sure our guys would be willing to lace them up in the parking lot if we had to.
Well, you sound like Sam a little bit. Sam's the same way. I wanted to keep both you guys on. I wanted to go ahead and look at some of the matchups for next week. We'll go to the 1As, and wanted to get both your opinions about this. Robbinsville, I think they're a team that's on the destiny, and that Wilson Prep Pinetown game, that's going to be a good one, but I think Wilson Prep's going to win that one now. Any thoughts, guys?
I don't know enough about these schools, to be honest with you.
I like
Robbinsville.
I like Robbinsville and Wilson Prep making it out. Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and look at the 2As. This is and everybody can see the scores on the left. We've already gone through them, but on the right, Corrigan has to go over to Murphy. I'll tell you what, that is going to be a fun game right there. Coach Chris, if I remember right, you guys only lost 1 game, and that was to Butler, who's a 7A team, and it was like 19-14 or something really close to that.
Yeah, 14-11.
14-11. Okay.
See how that one hurts him still. Like see, that's my alma mater, but I can tell that he knows that score more than the ones he's won. I can promise you
Right.
that.
Yep.
Now him and Hales, and to go back, him and Hales were teammates, I believe, at Kent State. Was that correct?
Yeah, we were. Yeah.
Like he's like at least 10 years older than you, so he was like, a 7-year COVID type player if they had that back then.
Oh my gosh, Sam.
Coach Chris, charter buses, right? Leave
For sure.
early so you can rest those legs, get those legs stretched out when you get there. That's because that is a long trip. So you want to be as fresh as you can be. Maybe even go up the night before.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to look at all the options. I mean, it might be kind of tough with some of the kids leaving on Thanksgiving, but I was going to reach out. Like I said, I have no idea where it is. I don't know what colleges or universities are close by, but just try to reach out, find restaurants, go somewhere, kind of run around and get loose before we get there and, just play some ball.
It is the farthest west you can go. I think maybe Andrews is a little bit farther west, but Cherokee County is the farthest west you can go in the state of North Carolina. The other game in the West, Mitchell at Starmount, that's going to be a pretty good game. I like Starmount in that game, but I'll tell you what, Mitchell beat a pretty good Mountain Heritage or Mountain Island Charter team tonight, 28-15.
Boy, did they, yeah.
Yeah, we played Mitchell last year in the first or second round. They're having a heck of a year. We didn't get a chance to play Starmount. They lost to Mount Airy before we played. So yeah, I'm not like I said, not being from here, I'm not real familiar with a lot of schools. So, but playing Mitchell, I mean, this is a good year for them.
Well, very much so. In the East Bladen goes to play Tarboro, and Holmes will be at Warren County. Tarboro is Tarboro. Tarboro is just a machine. I think they could win the 3A East if they wanted to, possibly even the 4A East. I saw Warren County play tonight. Warren County runs a straight T offense. It's fun to watch. I think they threw the ball 2 times, and the first time they threw the ball was on a bomb that got intercepted. The second time was an incomplete pass, but Warren County can run. That's going to be an interesting game between Holmes and Warren County. Straight T versus, I think, probably a wing T with Holmes. Coach Chris, I know you saw Tarboro play last year. I think that's the team that's going to come out of the East. Would you be shocked if they weren't the team?
Yeah, I'd be very shocked. I mean, they're talking to their coach at the clinic. He said they start with Pop Warner. And, he said, you go to a middle school game, you think we're watching varsity. Same terminology. They run the same way, same speed. So, I mean, just having all that stuff in your system from 6, 7 years old through high school, I mean, that's a big advantage. I would really be surprised if they didn't make it.
Yeah, same here. Dale, I know you feel the same way. We probably think the JV team would be in the top 5 in the 2A East.
I don't think you could find anybody other than a homer, like an East Bladen fan or a Holmes Warren County fan, that would say they have a shot.
I agree. Let's go ahead and look at the 3As. And Shelby at Eastern Randolph, that's going to be over in Ramseur, about an hour away from where I live. I like Shelby in that game. I'll tell you what, Shelby is a hard team to beat. They're road warriors too. This will be the 3rd game in the road. They'll be on the road. Should be an interesting game. West Davison, they beat my alma mater tonight, North Stanley. They'll be at Lincolnton. I like Lincolnton in that game. James Keenan will be hosting Farmville Central, and Northeastern will be hosting Kinston. You know what? Kinston is a team that's on fire right now. Dale, I wanted to ask you about that. You think Kinston go to Linscott?
I like Northeastern still, though, but they have been playing well, and I like Keenan and Northeastern, just as I like Shelby and Lincolnton are my 2 picks out of the West.
That Kinston Northeastern game is going to be tough for me. James Keenan, though, is just on fire. I like them. They're over in Warsaw, North Carolina. I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and look at the 4As. See what we have here. Pisgah at Brevard. Brevard is still undefeated. Maiden at High Brighton. That's going to be a pretty good game right there. I know Maiden's 8-4, but they've lost some pretty close games. High Brighton lost one game this year. They lost earlier on to East Rutherford, a 3A team. I like High Brighton, but I tell you what, that's not going to be a blowout. I don't think Brevard is going to blow out Pisgah because early on in the season, I think Brevard may have had to go into overtime to beat Pisgah. Coach Chris, I don't know if you know either one of those teams or any of these games.
I didn't Brevard beat Reedsville last year in the playoffs.
I think that was the team that beat Reedsville. I cannot remember the life of me, but they're a loaded team.
Yeah, and I only know Reedsville. My brother's wife, my sister-in-law graduated from there, so she talks about it all the time. But other than that, I really have no clue about anybody on here.
That man just watches the film of who he's going against and then adapts.
I like Brevard. It could be a good ball game, but I do like Brevard. I think that Maiden High Brighton game could be interesting. Jim, I thought, I don't know, maybe Stuart Kramer is, as I said earlier, maybe they're showing us that they are more of a team than maybe we gave them credit for. But man, that game, that's a scary game and a pick, I think.
Yeah, Brevard had a close game today, didn't they, against Burns?
Yes, 30-27.
Well, Burns, exactly. And I figured that would be kind of a close game. I we Burns is not a bad program.
Yeah, no, we scrimmaged them earlier in the year. They were tough for sure.
There was one game that Maiden Newton Conover, I believe Newton Conover, one of their running backs was injured, so that's one reason why that game wasn't quite as competitive. In the East, Central Davidson will be at Reedsville. Reedsville is a machine. They're a dynasty. If there is one of the dynasties, along with Shelby in the 3A. Yeah. Southwest Edgecombe will be at West Craven. I tell you what, West Craven, I'm big on them. I know Chris Hughes is huge on them too. That Central Davidson Reedsville game, that might be the game I'll go to next week. That's about an hour away from my house. Reedsville is kind of a spread offense, and Central Davidson is let's put everybody in the phone booth and move the ball down the field.
West Craven Eagles, right? Is that right?
It's getting late, man.
Eagles. I think anyway.
Yeah,
I like West Craven.
One of those bird teams. So,
it's one of those bird things, yeah.
Yeah, what was it? West. Right now, I'm so tired. Is it West Charlotte Panthers, Lions, Tigers? It's the Lions. That's right. So
Lions, Tigers, Bears. Oh my, that's what you need to say.
There you go.
Always.
I'm too tired to even say that. So let's go ahead and look at the 5As. Oh, I tell you what, Crest at South Point. Crest blew out South Point early on the season. I don't think it's going to happen twice, but I like Crest in that game.
Yeah.
Hickory at J.M. Robinson. I'll tell you what, people dismiss J.M. Robinson. This is a game, though, I think Joe Glass has probably got circled. He told me earlier on the season J.M. Robinson is one of those teams that he tremendously respects. I think that's going to be a slobber knocker of a game. Croatan.
South Point and Monroe 61-42 basketball score. That's unbelievable.
Had a track meet there. Croatan beats Hunt, or it's going to be at Hunt, and Rocky Mount is at Jacksonville North Side. You know what? That West is so much stronger than the East. I hate just to say that, but it's true. I mean, I think the weakest team in the West would be the best team in the East right now.
Oh no, there's no question. And again, I like to look at power rankings because they take into account, who you play, what their strengths of schedules are, your true strengths of schedules, etc. And when you look at the power rankings, Jim, all four of these teams are in the top 5. And the other team that's in the top 5 that's not here is East Lincoln. And then number 6 is Monroe. So just from power rankings, these guys are power ranked way, way, way higher than the Eastern teams. I think that's some tough matchups there. Crest and South Point are 1 and 2.
Right.
South Point did have trouble with Crest earlier, but let me tell you, South Point's it's hard to play, and there's been many a times that Crest has walked out of Belmont with a loss. So that could be a good game.
You know what they say? Those that ignore history are doomed to repeat it. And I just like Crest so much that I might be one of those people that ignored history, but I'm gonna stick with Crest on that one.
They're the favorite, I think.
Yeah,
they are the favorite, but I don't think they can go in with an attitude of we slapped you around last time.
I think that's dangerous to do that because
it is dangerous. This is not one of those. Is this? The whole thing about it's tough to beat, a good team twice. Well, the reason is because it's a good team.
Right.
But they slapped South Point around the first time. So has South Point made the adjustments through the season that
what adjustments do you expect them to make though?
Growth.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that Crest is.
I don't expect it.
Yeah, I can't see that within a 21-point game at all.
Just learn how to hold the defenders when the refs are not looking. That's the way I look at it.
You think Crest is going to blow them out again?
No.
Yes.
Oh, you do? Okay, I don't. I think it's going to be.
I don't.
What is a blowout? 21 points? Like
21 points.
Madden, you're turning the game off.
I define a 21-point win as a blowout in my book.
Okay, or like yes, but I just think that you got to understand Crest has played South Point so many times that they have they understand the rules of stopping it. South Point gets on people that don't understand the rules of the triple option, and I think Crest can spread them out on their defense and athlete for athlete. I just think it's a little bit different there, so they can't stop Crest. And then Crest has the ability now of the identity of who South Point is for over the years that I think that they can, obviously stop them enough times. You stop them 2 times, next thing you know, it's 21-0. So
over the years, Sam, Crest has always been a dynamic team, meaning dynamic on offense. They have ability to hit you both in the air and on the ground and with screens. I mean, the whole gamut of an offense, Crest has always ran, whereas South Point has always been that triple option style of offense. And, they play. Wait a minute, they play each other. But my point is, they play each other every year, so it's not a new thing for them to playing, and South Point doesn't know how to adjust to Crest, or Crest doesn't know how to adjust to.
Yeah, but it wasn't like the last game they played wasn't a 40-point game.
It was a big margin game, but as you know, things can happen in games that maybe make them a lot further. A lot further apart. I think it was 35. I'm looking at the score right now. It's a 35-point margin.
35-point margin.
And the moral of the story is, guys, go to a football game and check it out. See which one's right. See if it's Dale. See if it's Sam. See if it's neither. See if it's both. Who knows? Let's go ahead and look at the 6As if we can and see what we got on here. I see a lot of them Crest all day. Yep. So on the 6As, who we got playing? We'll get the 6As up here in just a second. Yeah, I can see Crest on there all day.
Langston might have fell asleep.
Well, and then our producer's probably caught up right now. So
now that J.M. Robinson Hickory game, Jim, I think that's got an opportunity of being a great game. I think.
Yeah, I do too.
Hickory's a great football team, but JMR is a team that is, people aren't given the respect, and here they are.
So in 6A next week, Northern Guilford will go to Ashbrook. That's going to be a good game. Ashbrook, their defense has been really lights out, but their offense is, I don't know if the word struggle. They just haven't scored a lot of points. Sun Valley Watauga. I tell you what, that's going to be a classic game. See how Sun Valley does on the mountain. That's going to be a really good one. I do like Sun Valley. I like them a lot. I
We
do
said
like
that earlier.
Ashbrook's defense.
I think Sun Valley takes that game, and it may not be close.
I don't know about it. Won't be close, but I think Sun Valley takes the game. They've played a physical schedule. And I think Ashbrook gets out as well. But we said that at the beginning when the playoffs. I thought it would be Ashbrook and Sun Valley.
That's who I picked up. Yep.
I think Ashbrook's got so I'll say this. I think Ashbrook's got a tougher time, but their defense, I've seen their defense. Others that I talk with have, watched them, and everybody comes away with the same comment about Ashbrook. It's their defense first that does things for them. So that's going to be an interesting game.
I'm trying to remember. Did Ashbrook beat Crest? Yeah, they did.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Their defense was able to hold down that dynamic offense. Exactly. Yeah. I like Ashbrook, buddy.
Ashbrook's defense is beautiful, and
they are.
Now this next one, this East game, Middle Creek and Northern Nash. My family has pretty good history of both of these schools. Middle Creek, the West used to have tobacco farm right there on it's right off Westlake School Road. So that's where I'm gonna say about a mile and a half from where my parents live right now. They'll be at Northern Nash, which my my grandmother's family used to be over in that general area in Nash County. I like Northern Nash in this game. I think Northern Nash they just beat a pretty good team in 71st. I think they were a dangerous team. The next one, Union Pines at Jacksonville. I have been big on Union Pines this whole season, and I like them in this game. I know Jacksonville has not lost a game this whole season, but Brian Till, his guys are really coming in. Their defense is nasty.
What is going on here? So, like on the East games, it says over here, the games that were played says Jacksonville beat Scotland 35-34. Then it says down here in the second to last one, Scotland County beat Jacksonville 34-33.
It's a mistake. Yeah.
Okay,
originally we had Scotland beating Jacksonville 34-33, but it was actually Jacksonville beating Scotland.
How did that game did it come down to like a 2-point conversion at the end, or how did that work out? Does anybody know?
I do not know.
No. Our producer's messing up on us here.
Well, he's a good producer. I think the world of our producer. So
I think it's kind of a Union Pines. That's going to be a tough game for Union Pines. I agree. Phil's doing a great job, but that's a tough ball game right there.
You know what though, he's a guy. So help me. It seems like we're talking about great coaches and all that stuff. We don't hear many people talk about Brian Till for some reason. I don't understand that. I mean, he is a great coach. I think he's one of the most underrated coaches in the state. So,
I'm not trying to be rude because I don't know. I like him a lot too. I think I rubbed him the wrong way one time. I'm just curious.
Never heard about you doing that.
Yeah, I know, right? How many championships has he won?
I don't think he has won anything.
No, it's so Sam. In maybe
I wasn't trying to be disrespectful. I wasn't trying to be disrespectful.
No,
I'm really
no, I know you weren't.
Yeah,
but maybe you. I was just thinking maybe you rubbed him the wrong way when you and I went down there and watched him play.
Brian Till's the type of guy that can take a team.
That?
Yeah.
Brian Till's a guy that can take a team that would be like 3-7 talent to make them 6-4, or take a team that's a 5-5 talent and make them 8-2.
He's a great program builder. Okay, I got you.
I mean, he's never inherited a team that had abundance of talent. Never has. I mean, he was at he was at Terry Sanford, I believe. He was over at Richmond County, and that was when Richmond County was kind of down. He brought him up a little bit, and so I've always been big on that.
There's an expectation, and sometimes it's unrealistic. These expectations are, and so there's an expectation in the Richmond community to a certain level that they think they should be at. Too many people remember back in the 90s when Richmond was one of the the North Carolina team that was nationally ranked. Yeah. And people still kind of have those expectations that Richmond can be what they used to be. I think that was Brian Till's maybe biggest issue at Richmond was not
I
him
got you.
or his ability, but some people's unrealistic expectations.
I did just see a message here, and Blaine, I believe you are correct. I think that game will be over at Northern Guilford and not at Ashbrook. Ashbrook is a number 3 seed, and I believe Northern Guilford is too. So, thank you so much for catching that for us.
Ronnie Romes wants to know that we discussed 3A. We did.
Yes,
We
we did.
discussed it.
Shelby's going to be playing. I know we favored Shelby in one game, and I think the other game we had Lincolnton over West Davison.
Mm-hmm.
So in the West, in the East, James Keenan was one team that we liked, and the other one I believe was Northeastern. So,
I don't know if you're a Shelby guy, maybe, Ronnie, but if you are, I think we all like Shelby's chances.
He's coming off the mountain. Is that where Shelby played?
They were at Mount Airy. They played Mount Airy. So
I got you.
Oh, Lincolnton, they're still in the hunt. They're playing. I don't remember who Lincolnton's playing, but anyway, let's go to the 6A next week. Ashbrook. Okay, we've already done 6A. Let's go to
7A.
Let's do 7A. Independence of Weddington and Reagan at Grimsley. I'm going to start with the second game. Grimsley, I like them in that game. Independence and Weddington, I do like Weddington in that game, but I'm going to tell you right now, Independence is a tough team to beat. And I would not be surprised at all if Independence wins that game.
So yeah, I mean, I picked Independence earlier in the brackets. This is before Grimsley's quarterback came back, obviously. So I would take Grimsley overall just because of the quarterback coming back. I think that brings a different element overall. But I do, you know what? I think Independence is clicking on all cylinders right now. And, they put up a 50-baller or something like that on Richmond County. And, so that's pretty explosive game. Defensively, they did some really good things too. So, I mean, this is going to be a big time game. Independence is probably wanting to get back to this game. If you remember when they beat Butler in the quarterfinals, was it a couple years ago? Games. And, Independence wasn't prepared physically, they said back in the day, for Weddington. And I think that over the years, they've changed some things, and I think they want to see if they're ready physically to get, into a game with Weddington. And so I think that'll be a great game to watch. I mean, no doubt. Reagan, obviously, we should have listened to our fellow colleague, Brian Hales. He said that their running game is going to be elite, and I guess that running game did come into the hold versus one of the 4 corners. We thought that Mooresville would be playing in this game, possibly with Grimsley, where most of the guys on the panel. And so, but Reagan came out. Hales was the only one that was kind of really sticking his neck out for Reagan, and so that's pretty impressive. Reagan win. I don't know what the score was, but I think it was a tight game. What does it say? It was around 32-31, real tight game.
Exactly. In the East,
so my concern, Sam, is that I was at the Independence Weddington game in the playoffs a couple of years ago, and Weddington just physically, it was an overwhelming situation of disparity between the two teams.
I don't think this time it'll be that, though. I think the gap is narrowed. I see what you're saying, Dale, but I've played, we played against Myers Park, who got the best of Weddington early in the year. And I think Weddington just they weren't quite into the phase that they're in now, but Independence wasn't either. So I think both of them are clicking at the right moment. They're both going to clash where they're both hot. So it would be an exciting game. If I wasn't going to my own game, I'd probably go to this game.
So that's where you get that double pie next week. I forgot, or the week after. I forgot about that.
So my question really about that game is, if Independence doesn't get overwhelmed by physicality, then they can make it a game. But if there's still that disparity in the physicalness of the teams, because that Weddington's still got a very, very good front seven on defense. And
yeah, I mean, there's very comparable. So I mean, you have some comparables that I mean, Independence played Malley Creek and physically dominated them. Malley Creek physically dominated Myers Park, uh, who beat Weddington early in the year. So, I mean, there's some comparable games that physicality. I'm not concerned personally at the moment for Independence's physicality. The tradition of Weddington, they're wanting to get back to the championship. That's the more concerning thing there that, they're playing at Weddington. That's a tough place to play. They have a great environment there and they have very talented players. Independence is, playing at a great pace right now that, I mean, like I said, if Independence is able to get out a little bit, like a 10 point lead, and puts a little bit more pressure on Weddington. See, the thing about Weddington is that, the DBs, they have explosive players at Independence. And if those guys get in space, they can expose some things. But Weddington does have a great front, like you said. And both of them extremely well coached. Capone has the best track record out of anybody in North Carolina right now. Him and Chad Greer, phenomenal track record of just dominant throughout the years. So that's good. And I don't
Why
know.
don't
This
you
is a great.
lazy eight? Why didn't you lazy 8A guys take the bye next week? And
But
then
that'd
I
be
could
too
go to
easy.
that game.
That'd be too easy. It would have been too
Let's
easy.
go.
Why not give us Thanksgiving? Well, this is a tradition though to kind of practice on Thanksgiving Day. We're thankful to be practicing.
Exactly. So well, let's go ahead. We're running out of time here. Let's go ahead and look at the East. Southeast Raleigh at Clayton, and the second one is going to be Gardner at Cardinal Gibbons. I do like Cardinal Gibbons in that second game. I think Cardinal Gibbons is just a hard team to beat. Although Gardner had a great win against Cape Fear, a very physical team tonight, beat them 63-26. I still like Cardinal Gibbons. I think their defense is just outstanding. That Clayton Southeast Raleigh game, that's going to be a slobber knocker. Beginning of the playoffs, Clayton was playing just as good as anybody in the 7A East. Right now, I think that game's a toss-up.
I thought. Remember, I was thinking that Southeast played Clayton already because I thought I saw it in the text message earlier. But
That
when
was my mistake.
everybody was taking Cleveland going in this game, and I was kind of a little hesitant. I thought Southeast Raleigh just their ability. I saw them in 707s. I know 707, but they have a lot of athletes and they have a lot of gifted people in the front. And they're playing really good football right now, so they're scoring some points. So we'll see. That would be a great game on the East.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be some fun stuff. Let's go ahead and go to the 8As, and we're going to start out with the East. We'll do the West at the very last one. Millbrook and Hoggard, two undefeated teams. The teams in the 8A, there's only one team that's not undefeated. I'm not going to mention any names here, but only one team that's undefeated that's not undefeated. But Millbrook at Hoggard, that game is going to be at the Port City. Millbrook is my team. I think their defense is just phenomenal. I love their defense. I love their coaching. Some great men over there at over in Millbrook, North Raleigh. I'm going with Millbrook. Am I sane or insane, Sam?
No, I like Millbrook. I mean, I think Hoggard. I mean, they put a whooping on a very explosive Roseville team. I mean, that's a big win. And I mean, getting off the bus, we've all said this. I mean, from Providence Day to us that've seen Roseville around. When you get off the bus, Roseville is one of the most beautiful looking athletic teams, big, fast, strong. And I don't know what the disconnect was this year. And it could just be chemistry, it could be a lot of things. But that's an impressive win, 40-14 over them. It makes me. I don't know enough about Hoggard, to be honest with you. I know a little bit about Millbrook. I know some of their players. I've met their, Cypher, their linebacker. I've seen him at LSU. He's a great guy, big kid, very athletic. They got the great defensive man too. Millbrook, one of the best defenses in the Hall of Football in North Carolina, no doubt.
Well, I saw Hoggard play earlier on the season, and they got a great passing game, good offensive line, strong defense. They're a complete team. I just like Millbrook. I think Millbrook's defense is just a notch better than anybody else in the 8A East. All right, let's talk about these. The JV game, we'll call it, between West Charlotte and Huff. I'm playing with you, Sam.
No, you're good. You're good.
I'm good. I know that. In all seriousness, these are two of the best teams in the state, West Charlotte, Huff. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I'll say it in front of Sam or away from Sam. I like West Charlotte in this game. Sam, I know you're obviously part of the equation here, but before we go to you, Dale, you going with Huff or you going with Charlotte?
Take Huff, Dale. That's your buddy.
No, he is my buddy, but let's just break down what I've seen and what I think can happen here. I mean, quite honestly, from what I saw from West Charlotte tonight, it wasn't too far back that I saw Myers Park and Huff play each other. You can't do that head to head and come away with things, but there are things you can see that occur in the game and how West Charlotte may end up being able to apply those things. I think without question, if West Charlotte can cut down those unnecessary penalties, I think West Charlotte's got to be really from one point of view a favorite here, in my opinion.
The two loss team, the only two loss team in the eight.
Well, the thing that I like about West Charlotte, I love your edge play on your defense. You had a really good defensive end you played against tonight. That guy's phenomenal. But your guys are right up there in their ability. I like that. The things that I like about Huff, I think the big question in this game is going to be, will West Charlotte be able to throw the ball against Huff when they need to? Or, Sam's not going to give us any secrets. Are they, is he going to maybe bubble screen, which I've never seen Sam do a bubble screen. I assume he's got one in his, he may have to find some other ways to throw the ball, maybe. But that's probably the bigger thing. I do believe West Charlotte's run game is phenomenal between the tackles. It really, you think about a West Charlotte team and you think, well, a team like that's got to get out to the edge. But these guys do great stuff between tackles. So, I like West Charlotte right now. I think this game is going to be a real tough game. It's going to be a game of defenses. And I was asked tonight, and I'll say it right now, I think only one team's going to get into the 20s if they get into the 20s. And that team will be the winning team. I don't think both teams will get in the 20s. I think it's going to be that kind of defensive game. So a 21-14, 21-17, I can see that kind of stuff happen. Oh, one final thing, Sam. I thought you were going to kick a field goal, and you called a timeout. And I told someone down there, I said, he's going to kick a field goal when you're on the 5-yard line.
Mm-hmm.
And you came out and went for it. Good job.
Thank you.
That was a good call. I would like to see you kick a field goal to give your kicker some,
he made a field goal the other day, or the last game we played.
Yeah, but
he's done some good jobs. I really like the play that we've been working on all week, and I thought it would be there. And it was there, and we got in the end zone with it. And then guess what? We got to see our field goal kicker go ahead and kick about the same distance for an extra point. So it was lovely.
Exactly. So Jim, what happened there? They just, against a pretty physical team.
Yeah.
Huff's a physical team. Myers Park is a physical team.
Yeah.
And they were able to run the ball between the tackles. Quarterback could do it. Backs could do it. I mean,
yeah, we had three running backs going tonight. 3 running backs, 4 actually towards the end. But we did a good job. I thought we imposed our physicality on them, and and we told them going into the game, we just think our DNA is different. That's what our pregame speech was talking about, and I just said that our DNA is different on the forward than the team we were going against, and they're a great football team. They got a lot of great players, but at the end of the day, it just means a little bit more to us, and we wanted to make sure that they understood that on the field. And it was a tight game. We were up 14-0, then they scored late. We had a chance to go for a 2-minute drill. I wish we could have been a little bit better in the 2-minute drill where we could have drove the field and maybe kicked a field goal or got down on the field, but we got a little stagnant. And then in the third quarter, when we got the ball back, we kind of imposed our will on them. And then, I did not like, like I said, it was 34-7, with, closing minutes left in the game. And then we gave up. It was a mirage. It just shows you how good that defensive end. He makes a great play on a snag and goes for a touchdown on a pick. And then, we gave up. It's like we forgot punt team was out there and we had to punt the ball and then we got disillusional. I'm just like, coaching staff and, players were all like celebrating a little too early. And we still got 2 minutes to go in the game and we gave up some points where it's a little, our defense really gave up 7 points tonight. That's what they gave up. That's it. And so,
Sam, I wanted to ask you this. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think Hoggard's got a chance. I like Millbrook, and that would be my pick. I think Hoggard's got a fighting chance. They got a puncher's chance. They've got an opportunity. Right. But I do think Millbrook's the better team.
Okay. One thing I was going to ask you, Sam, this is the moment. I know you're not going to give Huff any type of bulletin board material on this show.
We've been doing that all year. We've been saying stuff all year long, back and forth, I guess. So this is.
So let me do it for you. Let me give them the bulletin board material for you.
Wow. Okay.
I'm joking, Sam. I'm not going to do that for you, man. I have enough people hate my guts anyway. No, the thing about it is I like Coach Baker. I mean, I think he's a class act. I think he has a great team. And it's just a gut feeling for me, to be honest with you. Would not be surprised if I'm 100% wrong. But, Sam, give me your case. What do you think? What do you expect Friday night, the day after Thanksgiving? Guys meet up at 7 o'clock. Hopefully it's at 7 o'clock, at Huff or at Panther Stadium. Panther Stadium.
It ain't going to be at Panther Stadium. I'm going to tell you that now.
Okay, but
that would be pretty cool. But now we'll go to Huff. That's fine.
Tell the fans, what do you expect?
Come out there and expect a very physical game. Both teams know each other very well. And obviously we're the underdog going into this game since, everybody puts those stats up there. We haven't beat Huff in 14 or 15 times in a row. And so, we're just hoping to have a fighting chance in this game. That's all I can say.
Fighting chance.
So are you going to give them that speech like, to your guys says, if you can remember 3 things and 3 things only, your Lord, your family, and the Green Bay Packers. You're going to give that speech?
No, these guys know. They know what this is about. This is more than football. It's a way of life. And we knew that this moment would possibly come, and now it's here. And we're thankful to be playing on Thanksgiving against these guys. And we're excited about it. We really are for this opportunity.
And I just want to say, everybody, I think the world of Sam. I have a lot of respect for Sam, and he's really good. Everything that's right about high school football is in Sam Griner. Dale, it's time for final thoughts. It's all yours, my friend.
So, Sam, I'm going to be hanging out with Baker Friday night. It's been there were a number of things that I wanted to give as a final thought. And one of the things is that, guys, a lot of you, and this has been happening for the last couple of weeks, a lot of you find that it's your last football game ever. And you're going to be, if you're a basketball player, you're rolling out basketballs and going to play basketball. But what I want to say is that no matter where you sit in a depth chart, you should always give your all in practices and in games. If you get opportunities to play, this was first going to be directed to those that don't get an opportunity to play. But then as I thought about this, and I said, well, I watched a game tonight that saw some emotions rise towards the end of the game, that you players that are still playing and will be playing next Friday night, you need to remember that even if your team wins your ball games on Fridays or your regional finals, because, not everybody's playing in the private league of the public association.
Just say the big dogs. The big dogs.
Some of you will you've got multiple games left, and you have to remember that if you get ejected in a game, if your team advances, you don't play, and if you're an important player, you hurt your team. So try to keep your emotions in check. It's hard. It's hard with an emotional game that this late in the season, in the playoffs, you really are looking at a state championship is a real opportunity for every team still playing. Some of you are one game away from it. Some of you are 2 games away from being there. But you've got to play in control of your emotions because it only takes one small incident to keep you out of the game. And if you're keep you out of that next game. And if that next game is either the state championship or in the 8A classification or in all the other classifications that play real football, to keep you out of your regional final game. So please, give it your all, but keep your mind set on what you're doing and what your goals are, and don't let your emotions ever exceed where your mindset should be. Emotions should never drive you. They should assist you, but never drive you. Try to keep that in mind.
Amen. I appreciate that. Guys, if you didn't or you came in late, there's a lot of ways that you can watch this again. Please go on to replay on charlotteobserver.com. There is some, you can listen to our coverage of tonight, and also you can watch our Sunday show that's going to be coming on. A lot of different places you can come in here. Monday, we'll talk about players of the week. Tuesday, talking preps. Wednesday, talking preps. OT. See, I didn't say plus this time. And then next Friday at 11:30, we'll be back on. So from Jim West, Dale Ross, and Coach Sam Griner, thank you so much for joining us. We'll catch up with you soon. Take care.